love you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know, I want to talk about a few things right out the gate, yo. The first thing I want to talk about is this case I saw on Forensic Files. Yo, this is out of control. There's this little girl, she gets like sexually assaulted and her grandmother gets killed and the guy runs away. So she's unconscious. She gets up the next morning, she walks to the neighbor's house, knocks on the door, and the lady that answers the door tells her, give me 20 minutes, and leaves her. She's like bleeding, she looks like all disheveled, she just got out of a concussion. She's confused, she's like 8 years old. Made her sit on the porch for like 20 minutes and then drove her to her like mom's house. So what ended up happening is when the cops went to investigate this case, they asked her to give a description of the suspect. So she described her uncle. So the cops right away took this guy on an eyewitness testimony from this girl that we already told you the trauma that she's been through, and put this guy in jail for like 9 years. Nothing anybody would do. They wouldn't even want to look at the case. Yo, that's it. She said he's guilty, he's guilty. So the wife, yo, this wife, man, how this wife fought for her husband. And you're gonna hear in the end what he did to her, yo. This world is crazy, yo. So what did she do? She started her own investigation. She started watching Forensic Files, see how they collect DNA. So she learned how to collect DNA. She did a search for criminals that were like in close proximity to where the crime scene was. Followed people around, this, that. And then after like 8 years of having zero success, she could no DNA, she did nothing match, they couldn't get it, this, that, what, it was a horror show. So years and years passed by, there's nothing she could do. One day she picks up the paper. Remember, her husband's in jail now for 8 years, completely innocent of this crime, yo. Completely innocent of this crime, yo. So she gets up in the morning, she reads the paper, and she sees that in the house next door where this little girl ran to, you know, after she got assaulted and, God forbid, beat up, that this guy next door murdered his wife and children. So right away a light bulb went off in her head and she said, you know what? I gotta get this guy's DNA. Something tells me that he's the killer, yo. So he goes to jail. And the craziest thing is, look how Hashem runs this world, bro. He ends up in the same pod as her husband that's in jail. So she tells her husband, you gotta get a DNA sample of this guy, yo. He ends up getting a DNA sample from one of his cigarette butts, sends it to her. She has it tested, and it turns out that he was the killer, yo. Now, can you imagine this little girl ran to get help, and who did she run to? The killer's house, yo. And the craziest part of this story, and the story's already nuts, but the craziest part of the story is that the guy was rewarded $6 million and divorced his wife and gave her nothing. Can you imagine, yo? That's ungrateful, yo. Like, give her something, yo. And you're gonna ask me, how did you know he didn't give it? Because they would have mentioned it at the end, yo. And they didn't say nothing about that, yo. So obviously, if you're smart, you can deduce, you know, what's going on. Very sad situation, very sad case, but that's life. I also want to talk about this silly commercial, yo. There's this commercial that they started to show for some cologne that is the corniest commercial I've ever seen in my life, yo. They have these girls sitting in a room, an empty room, sitting like on a stool. And some dude walks in with supposed, you know, this cologne on. And you have to see the girls, yo, they start like holding their chest, licking their lips. And they're not even attractive, yo. That's the craziest thing, yo. Look how Hashem blinds these Rishayim that make these commercials, yo, so attached to this physical, immodest world, yo. Look at this commercial. The girls are like, oh, bring him back. Because the guy walks in and he like walks out. Oh, if he smells like that, then you know it's gonna be on. Man, get out of here, bro. You know how weak you look, yo? Y'all women look weak, man. I would never want a woman like that, yo, chasing after dudes just because of the way they smell. You don't even know who he is. Could be a criminal killer, yo. Well, but he smells good, so I got turned on. I got out of here with this, yo. Such a cornball world when the wicked run it, yo. When the wicked are in charge, this world looks weak and feeble. You know what I mean? Guys are gonna chase girls around, yo. Get out of here with this, just like the dog. Why? Because he had relations on the ark, And I don't say sex. Why? Why don't I say sex? You know why? To keep it clean. Because I learned from the Torah. The Torah always speaks in the clean language. So when God forbid, God is going to tell you that you're going to eat the afterbirth that's going to come out between your legs, you know that's an exception to the rule. He would never talk like that. So his anger must have been really high when he said that, and it was. Because once again, my nation abandoned his word. When are the Jews going to get it through their head? And I'm saying this with love, Hashem. Now you know that, I don't have to tell you, but I'm telling the world. I'm saying this with love. I'm not saying it from a position that I'm better than anybody. No. Not judging like that. No. I'm just saying as a matter of fact, when are the Jews going to get it through their head that when they abandon God and His Torah, the punishment and the suffering will come? When? How many times do we have to learn this lesson with the spies? What happened with Korah? Even with Korah, there wasn't even that many people, even though it was a lot of people. I mean, one Jew dies, it's a problem. And you see that Hashem didn't even mention the name of the 250 men that followed Korah. Why? No need. They got smashed, they got murdered, that's it. No need to pour salt on the wound, you know what I mean? That's how Hashem does it, He's not going to embarrass you, and if He does, believe me, there is a justified reason to do it. And King Solomon says there's a time for everything, a time for the truth, and a time to be fake. How could it be? Give me an example of being fake. Okay. You don't like your mother-in-law, and you're in a big dinner with a bunch of people, and you want to really give it to her good for something nasty she did to you, and you give a fake smile. Mitzvah. Why? Because you would have embarrassed her in public. So here, in this situation, the Torah is saying it's a mitzvah to be fake. The Torah seems so confusing, but it's so not. Like I told my boy Sean, why do you think a woman cannot testify at a trial? Think about it, If she's held in such a high regard to God, she should be the first to testify, and we should trust her more than the man. But you see, she's not allowed to. Why? Because God holds her in high esteem. What do you mean? I just told you that she can't testify. Because He knows that once the defense has her on the stand, they're gonna murder her character. She used to be, God forbid, an exotic dancer. God forbid she did this, she did that, she got arrested. Now she's married, religious with kids. They're gonna embarrass her in front of her children. So to protect her honor and grace, Hashem says in this case, or in any other, you cannot testify. Same reason why Hashem doesn't want women in the army. Why? Because God forbid they're going to get captured and get raped. But you don't get it, bro? Man, it's unbelievable how everything looks so confusing in this world until you have the knowledge of God. Then every piece of the puzzle is going to fit perfectly. It's crazy. Give love to the wicked. Sometimes you do, if you see potential. If he's not arrogant. Sometimes people are wicked and they're not arrogant. They're just wicked. Maybe they had a horrible father that taught them wrong, so they just don't know that this is a sin or this is evil or this is wicked. I see a lot of people, they like to ignore. And I do it sometimes as well. I'll block you if you drive me crazy and start bothering me. I'm not trying to be Yoter Midai Sadiq acting like it's all love. It's not. I will block you and keep that energy out of my circle forever. You understand? Yeah, you want to get in touch with me, you know how to get in touch with me. And you can apologize and I'll love you. But if you're going to drive me crazy, I have a right to protect my mental health, Al tiye Yoter Midai Sadiq and force yourself to be nice and don't do this, Always must come from the heart, Always, And who do I block? Somebody who's anti-God in my family. Well, I want that energy around me. I don't. And believe me, I gave her every opportunity, But they don't understand. Sometimes the wicked, they keep falling in their wickedness, Can you do? You separate. But I ask God to give me patience when I deal with her if I have to, God forbid. To try to be loving, to try to be extra kind, to get my mind straight. But thank God I manage to steer clear of these situations by just applying knowledge, logic, wisdom, and peace of mind. How am I going to study Torah on the deepest level I could study it if I don't have peace of mind? I can't. You understand? I can't. Now I want to talk about something that I wanted to talk about, and only God could have brought this to my mind right now. I want to talk about righteous anger. Righteous anger is still anger. So first let's examine what God says about anger. That anger is in the lap of the fool. Anger is in the lap of the fools, yo. Hashem is letting you know, yo, when you get angry, you're going to lose your wisdom. Like a fool. You could be the wisest man that ever lived, but you would be in that situation. God forbid, yo, I would even say it like that. I'll let Hashem say that, yo. You can deduce what I was about to say, but the bottom line is when you get angry, it's a sin. Even if it's righteous anger. You want proof? Moshe Rabbeinu, when he got mad at Klal Yisrael and he said, listen, you rebels, Elijah the prophet, he got mad when Jezebel sent all her officers to chase him after he killed the 450 fake prophets on Mount Carmel and made fun of them. That really disrespected the honor of Jezebel. She got mad. So she sent people to kill him. And who ended up getting killed? She did, eaten by dogs. Only that Yehu from Hashem remembered to bury her, yo, because she was the daughter of a king. I forgot, from Zidon, if I'm not mistaken, yo. If I got that right, that's dope, Hashem, because I haven't thought about that in a while. Talk a little bit about King Solomon, yo. I can't believe King Solomon, that his heart was turned away from God and he worshipped idols with his wives, yo. See, we're learning such beautiful lessons. We're learning that the wisest man that ever lived left God. So what do we see? We see that as great as you can be, you could still stumble in sin. Don't you get it, yo? You flesh and blood. That's why the goal is to always be focused on staying holy. You're not allowed to curse to death. Why? He doesn't even know. That's the whole point. That if you can't curse somebody you can't hear, Kal v'chomer, you can't curse anybody ever. Let's all get that through our head real good, yo. Sometimes you want to curse the wicked. I curse somebody that cursed God. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed if you get mad. I can tell you that right now. Word up. And maybe, because you stood up for the honor of God, he'll forgive you. But again, stay far away from anger like a poisonous snake, like a Komodo dragon, God forbid. You understand? Stay far away. Word up, yo. And stay away from the wicked and the evil. Somebody curses every 2 seconds. Stay away from them. I don't care who it is, yo. Because then before you know it, you're going to start cursing, yo. And I don't know why I want to talk about this, but, yo, like the UFC, fine, I get it, yo. It's not good for guys to be beating each other up. You can get murdered, bro. What are you taking such a chance with your life, yo? But then that slap fighting, yo, that, you know the Mashiach is coming when they have that as a sport, yo. For sure. If you think the Mashiach is coming in 20 years, you're mistaken, my brother. It's more like 5 if I had to make an educated guess based on everything I see. Nobody knows. Obviously, I'm telling you, I don't know. You're not even really allowed to guess, but we're so close to the coming of Mashiach that now you can speak on it openly. Oh, you hear that motorcycle? I hope you heard it. I know that God heard it, and I know he doesn't like that, yo. And I know these people are going to be very disappointed when the justice knocks on their door. Word up, yo. You're destroying the 3 pillars of life right there, yo. When you drive a motorcycle like that, you're destroying the 3 pillars of life, yo. Justice, there's no justice in that. Truth, there's no truth in that. That's faker than death, yo. That was faked. And then peace. No justice, no truth, no peace in that. You have a hand in the destruction of the world. That's why Hashem is going to have a hand in destroying you. This is how it goes, my brother. I hope and pray you do tshuva. hope and pray you change, because who knows, you could have been the father of the Mashiach. We don't know. Can do tshuva and be greater than a lot of people, yo. Oh, I read something so beautiful. You know, when Jacob was blessing his sons, he said something very harsh about Levi, and he said something very harsh about Shimon. Why? Because he knew that Korach was going to come from Levi, and he knew that who was going to come from Shimon, yo. Somebody bad came from Shimon. Who? Zimri ben Salu. That's who. Hashem made it rhyme. That's dope. Dear God, the Most High, period. Please bring Mashiach now, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because if you bring Mashiach now, that means the wicked get murdered. That means there's going to be peace in this world and there'll be no darkness. It'll only be light, the light of God shining bright. No need for night when you have the light of God shining bright. Because the soul is energy. So when there's no obstacles to the soul, it's filled with energy. There's no need to sleep. You are already in a state of relaxation. You know what I mean? Word up. That's going to be the most beautiful, yo, to experience that world. Ooh, I cannot wait. And that's why God gave a reward. You see, God could have just told you, yo, I did for you. Now do for me. I created you. I gave you this. I gave you that. Now you got to pay it back. That's not what God does. He says, I'm going to do for you and do for me. But just know that when you do for me, you're going to get a beautiful reward for that, yo. And I used to have this one friend, yo. I had to get rid of this dude, yo. I don't do it for the reward. Always trying to be your Termidai Tzaddik, yo. I said to him, yo, so I want to see you tell God you don't want the reward. Better than that, give me the reward. Write on a piece of paper, I, so-and-so, give me the reward. He was ready to write that, to slap the pen out of his hand. What are you, bugging? Don't ever write that, yo. I don't like that, yo. This Yoter Midai Sadiq, it's all love, 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 love. Love is beautiful. But there's a time and place for everything. There's a time to love, and there's a time to hate. Like King Solomon said, there's a time for love and a time for hate. So my friend would have came and said, oh, you say you're gonna hate! You say you're gonna hate! You say you're gonna get angry! Get out of here, yo. You know what I told this guy? Hate what? Hate who? Hate who? Don't hate nobody. So who should you hate? If there's a time for peace and there's a time for hate. Hate the sin. Word up. That's what King Solomon was saying. The time for hate is to hate the sin. You know why? Because God told you in Parshas Kedoshim, be holy because I'm holy. That was my parasha. How dope is that, yo? And right attached to Achrei Mot. Why? Because of the relation crimes, like I told you earlier. Keep it clean, my brother. Word up, yo. Hashem, another video. Another day praising your name, and another day soaking up the wisdom of your words, yo. I'm forever yours, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I know you know it. I just want the world to know it. Love you, Hashem.